my god, you guys, he totally surprised me with this one. I'm dancing with Jeff Sieh, joining us today. All right, well, we're here early. So I have to say, we're going to just ignore the fact that we ended the countdown timer earlier. So I realized during the countdown timer, before we get into Clubhouse Tech Talk, I have to say I am loving the new ECAMM Live beta. Who has downloaded it? Let me know. Because during the countdown timer, I was like, it's Thursday. This is a Go Live Now show, not an LSP show. What am I doing? And so I was able to edit all of my assets and get everything ready to go without worrying about touching the real program, right? So now we have program preview mode, where we can edit the assets. Now, I hit the wrong button and it ended when I was trying to save, quote unquote, right? But how exciting is that? I freaking love it. Okay, so you guys were asking, I know, I got tricked. Before we get into tech, I got tricked by my guest today, Jeff.
That's right.
He was like, I knew you were going to ask me to dance, so I jib-jabbed that.
I did some work. Yeah, did some practicing.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so funny. Now, guys, realize one thing. I do not, so there is, it's a beta. So I am not being able to see all of your comments. So any questions you have, be sure to put a Q in front of that question in order to get it into my queue so that I do indeed see it. I'm seeing some, but not all comments, just because there's a little bug that they're working on actively. But yeah, so today we're talking Clubhouse Tech and Clubhouse strategy as well. So you might have seen with the new iOS only at this point Clubhouse app that a lot of people are trying this thing where they are bringing in Clubhouse into their live stream, or vice versa, sending their live stream into Clubhouse. And I brought Jeff on because he was the first person to kind of test this with me, and because I wanted to go through the tech that you need. It's a very simple tech setup that you can use, with your Rodecaster Pro or just in general, and then also talk about the strategy of why you may or may not want to do that. So if you are ready to dig in. Jeff, in
I'm
the
ready.
house.
Hey, it's so much fun being here. Yeah, sorry about the little surprise, but I couldn't compete.
Oh.
I saw Pat dance on your show, and I'm like, I cannot compete with Pat Flynn
Pat
on
just
so many levels.
killed it. Pat killed
Yes,
it.
yeah, he did.
But go ahead and describe exactly, what Social Media News Live is. I was on your show when we
Right.
tested this whole Clubhouse setup. But yeah, give them your little intro.
Oh yeah, so Jeff Sieh from Social Media News Live, and what it is it's a show where we kind of break down the new things that are happening on social media that week before, and I try to bring on guests who can talk about that, but also do it live so you guys can ask your questions during the show, and we can bring up what really matters to you. So it's great. So like this week we've got there's a bunch of Instagram news showing up. Like there's some really cool new things happening with stories, and so I got my friend Kim Garst who's going to come on, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. So that's what the show's about. It's really cool. Started it in January, and it's off to a screaming start. So it's a lot of fun.
I love it. And yeah, so you had me on there. I loved it.
Right.
I always love everything Jeff is doing. So let's talk about the tech, and then we will talk about the strategy. Now, here's the thing, you guys. If you are considering plugging in Clubhouse into a live stream, either way, you need to be aware that there are some recording rules from Clubhouse. So why don't you describe those, what those recording rules are?
Yeah, so a lot of people have a lot of questions about this. So one of the things is you are not allowed to record somebody without your permission. And so I kind of looked at, so once again, I'm quote Pat Flynn, because I watched what he did when he was doing a demo on Clubhouse. So you can't just hit record and, share that somewhere else. That will get you booted from the platform. In fact, if you actually try to screen share during a Clubhouse session, like you can record on your iPhone, the screen share, it'll give you a warning saying that you cannot do this. And so that was one of the things that you can't do. But what you can do is you say in the title, hey, this is going to be a live podcast recording or a live recording. And then you can also, and I think it's a really good idea to take the extra step, is when you bring someone up on stage, you say, hey, do I have your permission to stream your voice and record your voice for a podcast? And the first thing they say is yes, and then you're covered. So that's what a lot of people have been doing. They don't give you a lot of room in the description on Clubhouse to do that, so you're going to have to be kind of, really careful with your words, but make it really clear. And also, you want to keep going back to that for people coming in the room. Hey, by the way, this is a live show. We're resetting the room. A lot of people do that room reset on Clubhouse and say, hey, this is a live recording. We're talking right now. In a few minutes, we're going to go to some Q&A. You can raise your hand. We'll try to bring you up on stage, and we'll go from there. So that's what we did. Like, I do a live show that's a podcast, and we tested that by going into Clubhouse. And so we said, hey, at the very beginning, we said, hey, if you're listening to this, we're not going to take questions right away because we're doing a podcast, but we'll get to you towards the end of the show and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's the best way to handle it.
Yes, absolutely. And to the comments that are coming in, there are laws, yes, that say you can't record somebody without their permission. I think it varies via state.
Right.
However, when you go on somebody's live show, like Jeff is coming on here,
right,
it's kind of assumed that it's going to be recorded because it's a live
What?
show, right?
What?
Wait, what? Do I have your permission?
What? This is going out everywhere?
What? Yeah. So, but in Clubhouse, it's an entirely different philosophy for the app itself, which is not recording. And so to the idea of like how you tell people, I just put like in the title itself, I put a red dot and then say recording in all caps. That way it's ultra clear.
Right.
And okay, we're going to talk philosophy. I'm really excited to talk about philosophy because I am very much on the fence about certain things that you guys should and shouldn't do. Kat says implied permissions. Yes, exactly. Right. Okay. And we are not legal. We are not lawyers. We are not anything of the sort. So, do with our information as you will, and don't take.
And read the terms and conditions because they change. Yeah. They change
true.
every once in a while. Yeah.
All right, let's talk tech. Okay. Hold on. Because I didn't set up for the right thing. Hold on. Okay.
That's all right. Talk amongst yourself, everyone. We'll be here. So don't worry about it. This is how live video works. Yeah,
yeah, exactly, right? I'm going to do some fun, weird things with my Stream Deck today. Okay, so, a lot of you have Rodecaster Pros. So we're going to talk the tech of connecting the Rodecaster Pro, right? So that you can hear.
I gotta go.
I'm trying to force him
again.
into dancing.
I'm not. What is that music I'm hearing? Yeah.
And then, so if you have the Rodecaster Pro, that's the pretty cool thing, is that you can actually bring in all of those sounds. You can route your audio so you can use your good mic into Clubhouse. Now,
Right.
I will say this, that there, hold on. Okay. Hold on. Talk about the fact that may not be, because while I fix my buttons over here, I want you to cover the fact that it may not be as clearly defined. Like if you're using a great mic versus your AirPods, is that really heard on Clubhouse?
So no, I think AirPods have a really good sound quality. However, because if you're hearing me now, I'm using a Rodecaster Pro, and I have a Heil PR40 that is going into that soundboard. And for most people, AirPods are fine. I mean, a lot of people use that. You can't even tell on Clubhouse. But whenever I go on, because it sounds the same way as you're hearing here inside of Clubhouse when I'm doing it, and people go, wow, you sound really good. Because I do podcast producing, because I do live video, it's important to me to sound really good and stand out that way. So I like being able to do that. In fact, it's funny because I produce Guy Kawasaki's podcast, and he bought one yesterday because he was like, how are you doing that? And I was like, well, you do this. And he's like, oh my gosh, because he was trying to do it and his wires were getting crossed. But so you do not have to do it. It's like anything else that like Luria teaches. You can go live with your phone. You could go live with your AirPods. You could go live with just the plug-in earphones that they come with. I mean, well, they used to come with, and they don't anymore. But Apple, come on, you're cheap. But you could do that. It's fine. But if you want, we're talking about taking it to the next level and making it sound really rich, really nice, really good on Clubhouse or anything else that you need to use your phone to record on or anything like that, or an app. So yeah.
I actually really like it because I can do my dance outs, right? So if you're new around here, type new, by the way, in the comments. I would love, love, love to meet you. But I always dance out the show, by the way. You're not getting away with your
maybe
little
some technical
trick
difficulties
today.
or something. Yeah,
There might be but I always dance it out, and everybody really enjoys that. If I try and end it without dancing it out, that's a problem for my audience. And so in Clubhouse, everybody's like, we got to dance it out. So now, using the Rodecaster Pro, I can dance it out just using the Rodecaster Pro. So anyway.
But one of the things I think you do want to say about that is like, even on Clubhouse, even though it's still this limited, invite-only app, you still can't just play any music. You're using that music you're dancing out to is royalty-free that you've purchased the rights to use. So just keep that in mind as well.
Thank you for saying that. And if you need music, you can go to livestreamingpros.com/music and get a 30-day free trial for use anywhere on social. And that will secure you and make sure that you have the great music that you know and love from here. Okay, there we go.
We're always testing new things when we get on a show together. It's always something, It's like
we're always
trying
like,
Clubhouse.
Let's hack this.
We're gonna play this. What happens when I press this button?
So I do have a button now for this. So we have the Rodecaster Pro, right? And we'll talk about without Rodecaster Pro as well. But all you need is a TRRS cable, right? So if you go to here we go. We've got the TRRS cable, and we're going to get it focused here. Come on.
And it's got the 3 prongs on it. That's one thing you can check. Yeah. 1,
2, 3. That TRS is 2 prongs. That's not what you want. You want a 3 to 3. TRRS to TRRS. And then you also want just that little adapter. And that's the headphone, adapter to Lightning, so that you can plug this into your phone, which we're going to do here in a second.
So can I say something real quick about those cables? So the cables, you can get them on Amazon. Just make sure you're getting a male to male, because you have to have a male in to go into the back of your Rodecaster. And then I get a pack because I lose those stupid dongles all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So they have like 5 packs of those things. And so that's what I get. And so, but check the reviews, because some of them just plain suck. So you need to go and look at the reviews, make sure that they work okay. They're certified by Apple is some of the best ones, but you know, make sure you get that mail to mail. And I have one that has the L to it, so it really comes off my Rodecaster really nice. So.
Oh, nice, yeah. And then in the back of the Rodecaster Pro, and it's going to be a little hard for me to show you this because I'm kind of wired in, but essentially you have a. I'm gonna force this. We're gonna do it, guys.
Oh my gosh, here we go. It's gonna go all crazy.
You have this little picture of the mobile device. You plug that TRRS mail into this little device that says phone, because that's what you're doing. You're plugging your phone into the Rodecaster, okay? And then you're all set. Now all you have to do is plug this cable, the adapter, into your phone and open up Clubhouse. And then we're going to actually, hold on. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, so then what we're going to do is start a room, right? And so then you want to add a topic, and we're just gonna do this live right here. What do you say, Jeff?
Sure. Testing, recording. So one of the things, oh, she's getting this room ready. The cool thing about the Rodecaster is it has this, so you can plug in your phone, so you can take calls, or you can do interviews with your phone, or you can actually do a call-in show with the Rodecaster for a podcast. One of the things
hold on,
is
real quick. You have to click yes music mode. So
I clicked no on music mode.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna click music mode because that's what I did before, and I know it works. But I guess maybe you don't have to. Maybe it's either or. I thought it was music mode that we needed.
No, I never have used music mode because for me, I always have. So you can't see on the Rodecaster, but at the very, very front of the Rodecaster is a headphone jack as an output, and so I usually have that going from my Rodecaster onto my headsets, and you can't see them because they're actually little monitor mics that go behind my ear. Here you can see them kind of like this. So they're right like this.
Yeah.
And
are those the M6s like me?
Yeah, it's a super cheap, like $17 at. Because I quit
those
using.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I have like 2-pack of them because I'm always rolling over them with my chair. And so I always wanted to don't ever want to do it because I had I was using the AirPods Pro, and the problem I never use, and I know a lot of people do. I've had them disconnect during a live show, and I can't hear anything, so I never use Bluetooth stuff anymore. I always have connected stuff, and so anyway, so I have that plugged in. So I have that going through my Rodecaster. I have my phone, and even when I'm not doing streaming, but I still want to use my nice mic and all that stuff, I'll just plug in my phone this way and join a room for whatever reason.
All right, I got to reset the room here because how the heck did Renee actually get to be up on stage? So those of you who I don't think I added him, but that's awesome that he's just popped on up here. So you can see everybody kind of filing in, and just guys, before I show your faces, no, in Roadcast or in Clubhouse, you all are being recorded. So I'm going to give you a chance to leave if you don't want your face. Hey, dude.
Sorry.
Just joking. I'm teasing you.
Remember, we had this problem before. So
yeah, we
anyway.
did. It's the same room. You need to. Oh, I'll mod you. Yeah, but I don't know what you were saying. It's not the same room. I created a new room. Anyway, it remembers the state from the original room, but it's not the same room. It's a different title even. Anyway, so now that you've had a chance in Clubhouse, if you're listening and you have no idea what's going on, we are live right now doing a tutorial on youtube.com/livestreamingpros about how to plug in your Rodecaster Pro and get good audio into your Clubhouse room so that you can play music and you can have sound effects. Because when Jeff says something really bad,
yeah,
there you go. Right, so we can have all of these fun effects. So I'm going to
oh, sorry. I'm
going to be showing you, I'll make you a mod as well. And And let's go to the BTS here. So now you can see, hey, Callie's in the room. Okay. Jeff. Oh, because you're muted. You're not muted. Okay. Testing 1, 2.
Yeah,
I'm still getting that audio from you.
I'm actually unplugged from everything and have it off.
Testing 1, 2.
Oh, remember, I got to leave. Just let me get out of here.
Yeah.
Because when you get me in, that's what happens.
This
Remember,
is
we
important.
tried
This is
before.
an important thing. Yeah. So the fact that Jeff came in and is invited as a speaker, I forgot about that. You then cannot turn. He cannot turn his volume all the way down. Like you can't. It just doesn't work. So you can't both be in there, which kind of sucks. But you can.
Now,
go ahead.
This is for streaming though, because we're streaming live. Now, if I wanted to use my good mic and we weren't on live TV, how old am I? If I was live, it would be fine. I could use my everything good and talk to you fine. But it's because we have 2 sources. My computer's plugged into my Rodecaster 2, all that kind of stuff. But if we weren't live, it would be fine to be able to use the Rodecaster setup to talk to Luria. But since we're streaming, that's the issue.
Yeah. And you'll notice that so I'm going to have Jeff talk. So in Clubhouse, typically this flashing that's happening right now is, how many followers do I have? Hey, you guys, let's hit 3,000. So that flashing means that I'm talking. But when you are connected and you're bringing in a stream like we are today into the Clubhouse experience, now when Jeff talks...
Testing 1, 2. I am Luria appearing on Clubhouse.
So it doesn't matter, who's talking through this plugged in system. It's going to appear that I am talking. So that can be a little weird for the audience. Holy cow. How many
Leslie's
of you
in
are
here too,
watching? Yeah. Let me see. We've got 54 of you in here. I don't think I get 54 people when I do a regular Clubhouse room. Now, come on, people. I love that. Okay, so now you have the full experience. And now I can also bring, is it going out to stream? Oh, I need somebody to talk. Renee, open up.
Yes.
Yeah, so now the stream, you guys can hear the Clubhouse room as well. Renee, what do you think of the experience?
I think this is the kind of utter magic that I didn't know was possible until you showed me how to do it, Luria.
So I could invite, we could have a call-in show, right? I could invite people to come up to the stage and ask questions, speak up, give advice, whatever format you wanted to play. Again, it's a little weird for the live stream viewers because now as they're looking at us, right? Renee is talking. Mimic, go.
I could be talking here, but I don't know if they know that I'm talking or not.
Right. You're hearing like the voice of God unless I show the screen on the stream. Oh, unless I show the screen on the stream.
There you go.
Sorry.
Which you cannot do if you're plugged in to the Rodecaster with your phone, unless you use an app like something like the Reflector 3, but then you'll have a delay. So because you can't if you wanted to use ECAMM like we're using now, and you want to show your screen like we normally do if we're demoing a software on the iPhone, you have to plug in to the only port that's on the, and I haven't tested splitting it, but I just have a feeling it's not going to work. So you can't show it. So that's what was driving me nuts when I was watching Pat, when he did his demo. I'm like, how is he doing this? He had his AirPods on one ear and his monitors on the other and was using his AirPods as the mic. So that was the difference. My whole thing was like, I wanted to use my good mic and Clubhouse and stream live at the same time. So that's kind of the trade-off you have.
And this is true. Sammy coming in with a $5 super chat. I can't show it on screen, the comment itself. Maybe not. Hold on, let me see. Oh, it is working. Yeah. You can use NDI with Clubhouse and show the screen. That's true. We could bring in the phone via NDI into ECAMM or whatever and show that.
But you still have to plug in to do NDI, don't you?
No.
Oh, that's right. You could use an NDI. That's right. Yep, you could. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I got to do that now. Thank
Renee-
you. Now I have a new toy to play with.
Nah, new toy.
I gotta go, Larry. I gotta play with this.
Renee says, I didn't mean to crash this. I just wanted to see how Luria was doing it. No, I'm glad that you did, because now we get to show you and have you on. And so, yeah, like the other option is a behind the scenes camera. You could just like prop
Yeah,
it up and
this
have
is
a
cool.
camera
Yeah.
on it. So that's another option, though NDI is probably a little bit better because then you'll see a better resolution of the screen. Now, they're saying that there is a delay. YouTube lags, but Clubhouse does not.
Weird. Well, yeah, there's going to be delay. We noticed that too with Facebook and other platforms. There is a delay from Clubhouse in there. So what you want to do.
Because with streaming software and of any kind, right? Anytime you're streaming to a platform, that's true. There is a delay. YouTube, we should be on ultra low latency, so there should be very little delay, but Facebook is going to be like a 30, 40 second delay. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, that's just what I was going to say is like we noticed that when we were doing our tests earlier when we had you on my show. And so, but let's talk about philosophy for this. So
yeah.
With streaming like this, I think it's a little clunky because we showed you like if you're doing an interview show, like if you have two people on screen, having Clubhouse and going in there and bringing up, that can be clunky because my voice is going to be coming through Luria's thing, so we don't have any of that echoey thing that you heard before. But if you wanted to do a call-in show, or you wanted to do something where you could, like Luria was talking about tech or whatever, and she was doing Clubhouse at the same time, then she could easily bring up those people if it was just her. She wouldn't have any of that echo. She wouldn't have any of that thing. She could bring them on screen. She could interact with them. You would just have them like, hey, pause, say that this is, you have my permission. We should have done that with Renee. That we have your permission
Renee.
to.
Renee, do we have your permission to record you?
Absolutely, always, forever.
See, there you go. So you used to do that before the fact, but
yes.
But you could bring those people up and have an interaction with them. You could have special guests that you would just have on Clubhouse. Like if I could do one where I was talking, YouTube strategies, and I wanted Luria to come in and talk about that in Clubhouse too, I could stream it as well, as long as she's not on the same screen. Also, a great thing we're going to do this on Tailwind show that I run next week is we're going to do the regular show that we do and then say, hey, everybody who wants to join in with this, we're going to be going right after this inside of Clubhouse and being able to interact with you that way.
Yes.
So I think doing that, and even kind of the thing we did at the end of my show, Luria, where we had kind of like, okay, we're going to be on Clubhouse, we're going to talk for a while, that you don't keep on the, you trim it up on the live stream or whatever, I think it'd be fun too. So I think there's some really creative things that you can do. But just realize the limitation in tech.
And we always talk about, doing content specific for the platform, right? Right now, I'm ignoring Clubhouse, and that doesn't feel good to me. Because typically in Clubhouse, at about this point, I would reset the room and explain to all of the new viewers, hey guys, what we're doing is recording a tutorial and talking about the strategy behind bringing in Clubhouse into a live stream. So we are live on the Live Streaming Pros channel right now on YouTube and Facebook, and yet we're also bringing we're basically bringing in Clubhouse both ways. So you're hearing my stream, and then we can also hear Renee or any other speakers we invite into the live stream. And there's a lot of things to talk about that from a strategy and a tech perspective. So I would typically reset the room like that, yet in a live stream, yes, you can. And by the way, I have kind of adopted the reset the room language into my live streams because because it's true. Actually, with a live stream, you do want to kind of recap and kind of set the room for people who are just joining, because that happens as well on live stream. Everybody's coming in at different times, but you do it a little differently in a live stream than you do in Clubhouse. So when you think about content meant for each platform, it gets a little wonky, I gotta say.
I do like the idea of maybe, if you're doing a live stream, maybe have a section, and especially if you start doing it in a regular basis, where you have how they used to do the call-ins time during the, the talk shows, where they would have somebody call in and you take calls, like Larry King used to do.
I totally remember those days.
So you could do something like that with Clubhouse, because that would be a lot of, I got it. I was
Okay.
laughing. I was laughing on the inside.
Okay.
But I think because we were really dates us, like we know what a dial tone is. And so, but bringing people in and interacting with that way in a certain section of your show with Clubhouse and then you could train even your Clubhouse if you're doing it at the same time every week that, hey, this is a live recording. We're doing a call-in show at like 15 past the hour, get your questions ready. I'm going to bring you on and we're going to talk. There's always danger in that, but I think it's a great way that you could integrate the two platforms a little bit more seamlessly than what, we're trying to do right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I am probably going to continue like Q&A or conversation in Clubhouse since we are live. The other problem I have with the adapters is that I don't have a phone holder to like set this down, so I can't see.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
and you brought that up too for the live stream. When you're trying to look at Clubhouse, you're down like this.
Yes.
And so being able to, have a monitor up there. Yeah, that might be cool to do. And so I see my pal Mitchell Dong's in there as well, and Caleb. But so I'm having to look down.
Yeah.
But so getting a way that you could have that up on screen, even if you're not going to screencast, but you could have like a mirror or a monitor up on screen where you can still look at the camera, probably would be a good idea as well.
Totally. And Mitch has a good thought here. You could also prepare a new Clubhouse profile pic to temporarily swap out. This is a typical thing that people do in Clubhouse that has both speakers' faces on it to help the Clubhouse listeners understand why multiple voices are coming through one profile. That's a really good point. The only thing that I can think of with that is then I think it'd
follower
be clear
count's going to go.
I know, yeah. Follower count. Like, so if they want to follow Jeff, they're not going to be able to follow Jeff because
Loria's not having me on stage.
Right, because we can't technically,
Yes,
right? So, I mean, I would have you on stage, but so unless maybe it's possible that they allow maybe one day in an update that you could completely lower that volume, but I don't know.
But I think a good host would be saying like, hey, by the way, Jeff is speaking. If you're just hearing him come out of the profile, make sure you follow him on Clubhouse by clicking on his profile. He does blah, 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 blah. So that's what you would do, like when you would reset the room, when you'd be doing all the different things. But remember, it's just like, so I have the same issue, and you've done this before too. It's like, you want to make sure and always think of all your different audiences. So like, since I do a lot of stuff with Tailwind, which is a visual, we do like visual reviews of Pinterest and all that stuff. I have to be very clear that this is also a podcast. We actually have more listens than we do views. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always like, okay, so what you're seeing here is da-da-da-da-da-da. And so you almost have to do the same thing when you're thinking about your Clubhouse audience. If you're bringing up a screen, if you're doing a demo or watching a YouTube video or something like that, you really want to make sure that you are telling your Clubhouse viewers and your podcast viewers what is going on stream.
Yeah. And I want to bring us back to this. This is the issue that we're talking about. You can't leave him on stage because once he's on stage, his volume cannot be muted entirely. He can drag it down all the way to the bottom, but it doesn't mute entirely. So then you get the feedback in my audio from him. So that's a big problem. He's muted, but his speaker is coming through, and even if you plug in external headphones, you're still kind of hearing that. So yeah,
there may be some way in a mixed minus situation in Rodecaster, but I haven't figured it out yet. But the thing is, just keep this in mind. The whole Rodecaster mic setup is fine. We're talking about adding the live stream element. If you want to just sound good on Clubhouse or something like that, like I use it almost every time I'm on Clubhouse because I'm plugged in. I'm just not live stream, so I don't have that echo. So they can bring me up on stage, do all sorts of stuff. It's just when you have an interview type like this, when I'm on this stage live and also live on the Clubhouse stage, that's where you have those issues.
Doc Rock has something to say. Doc.
Sure. What is he
Hey,
got?
hello everyone. Belkin and 17 other people, but I would start with Belkin, has what's known as a Lightning Plus audio cable. You plug it into your phone, then you have the Lightning cable goes into your computer for ECAMM. Now ECAMM can see your screen, and then you take the other side, you plug it into the dongle thingy and hook it back into your Rodecaster Pro. So that way the image shows up on ECAMM as well as the audio passes through the RCP. It's going to cost you $39 if you buy a real brand, about $7 if you buy something that would probably blow up your phone. So
Right.
stick to Belkin because it works.
We did
but,
talk
you gotta
about that,
warn
and we
people.
weren't sure if it would work. Have you tested it?
Oh, it's going to work because it's Lightning plus audio. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't even require testing. Lightning has
Okay.
a standard. If it's following the standard, it's Belkin. It's in the Apple Store. So it follows the answer, aka MFI. It works.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's bringing up on screen. Do you think it would?
I'll bet Renee's life on it.
So Doc, the question I have: do you think that would solve the problem of also having me up on stage, or is that a whole different issue?
That's a whole different issue. That's the way
Okay.
Clubhouse works in general. But yeah,
Okay.
the only way to solve that would be don't use your Rodecaster Pro as the interface as the guest. So as a guest, I hate to say this out loud, use a USB mic as your interface and then let the Rodecaster, so you separate the interfaces.
Gotcha.
Wait, you guys, sorry, Doc, can we record you?
Yesterday, last week, how many times? Keep going. I get that problem. FBI knows where I'm at. They're across the street.
Miserable. Okay, good. But I also just wanted to make sure that we can reuse that, hey, use a USB mic comment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my government name is Caleb Dempsey.
Oh, ECAMM Caleb.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so there you go. There's an option for bringing in both. Thank you, Doc, for that. We did have some questions, or was there anything else you wanted to cover before we go into questions?
So I just want to say, this is the one thing I really like about doing live streaming and bringing in Clubhouse is that just like Doc Rock, like it's not an easy, it's not easy to get like just casual viewers up on your screen because then, you have to have their camera and you want to make sure they're plugged in all right. So when you're doing a live interview, you want to make sure they have all those things up and it's a little bit more, kind of friction to get them on stage. But the ease of use that Luria just showed of bringing him up to the stage and being able to incorporate that as like a call in, I think is really, really cool. And I think that there's some really opportunities for live streamers there because, you don't have to get ready. People are excited to talk to you. There's just some really cool stuff that I think can happen with this kind of call in feature.
Yeah. Doc could be, in the car and still join, which he could, but I'd have to send him a link and then he'd have to make sure that he was, his phone was in the dock and he wasn't paying attention to the video and, all of the complications, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. It does make it a lot easier to get input from the community or friends. Does Clubhouse have a YouTube channel? Not that I'm aware of. They do regular Clubhouse, what do they call them? Like
open houses? I don't know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Town hall. That's it.
Town hall. Thank you. See, great to get feedback, right? Okay, so then some questions. Let's see. I'm going up to the top. Got lots of questions apparently. I got a new condenser mic. Younger said recently for recording videos and doing lives, but I don't know if it's the sound card that came with it, but makes it very high pitched. Are you talking about in Clubhouse? I think that's an entirely different conversation. We're going to stay on topic, Younger, but tomorrow is open Q&A here at Livestreaming Pros. So if you come back for open Q&A, let's stay on topic with Clubhouse. Can you use, Jaden wants to know, Clubhouse as a 15-year-old? Anybody in Clubhouse know the terms, or Jeff, do you? I would imagine it's the same as any social, 13.
Yeah, I'd have to check, but I guess the same thing. So
just check the terms of service.
Yeah.
Let's see. David Grover says, isn't it a bit dubious to record Clubhouse? TNC states the terms and conditions state that written consent is required. Do you risk being banned? So they have spoken in their townhouse conversations that they, even though it says not to, they want you to just put it in the description, in the title, make it very clear, get consent. Hold on, Clubhouse Jeff just popping in.
Hey.
He might be able to say something about this or the age.
Yeah, and they did in the town hall on. This is Clubhouse Jeff. Thank you so much for having me, Loria and Doc Rock.
Of
You
course.
guys all really.
Clubhouse Jeff is the guy who taught me how to use Clubhouse first.
Clubhouse Jeff, do we have permission to record your
Thank
voice
you.
and stream you live?
Oh my God, I am so bad at this.
I was gonna say it, and that's what I was gonna say. And thank you for asking. You have my explicit consent. to use it. And it's explicit. It doesn't have to be written. You just have to have it in some form or get someone to confirm and tell them when they come to the stage, they're going to be recorded, and then remind them every so often. And they're fine with it. They said that that's great. The creator comes first, and they're more than happy to allow everybody to be able to record their voices and send us out however you want to, and utilize it. And they recognize what you're doing right now. They think it's great. So
Wait, what are you talking about?
The servers are struggling a little bit.
Wait, huh? What you talking about?
What do you mean?
They notice what I'm doing. What are you talking about? Or, the servers.
They recognize the servers are
I saw that
Clubhouse
notification.
struggling. Yeah, and yesterday, I mean, when Mr. Beast hit here,
Yeah.
he crashed, and then Kanye West came on, but yeah, they're totally about allowing you guys to be able to stream this, do whatever you want, figure out new ways, and they recognize that. And in the terms of service, if you guys read it, it's all in here. They just updated the app. They're doing the music mode. They're trying to go to more high def audio, and it is on a different channel, like you were saying, like you can't mute it all away, and finding out which things work. Doc Rock has been doing that tremendously over the months, and I've always enjoyed following him and you, and I hope that helps everyone. This is Clubhouse.
Yes, awesome.
Thank you so much for that input.
Sending you a tick, Jeff.
Dude, you can just give me some props, man. You're awesome. You guys are all wonderful, and Jeff and everybody. I like how you're doing this show. I'm just so glad that you're using it this way. I remember when you first were on Clubhouse, and you're like, I don't see how this is going to work, and I totally knew you would just thrive here, Loria. So I'm so happy to be a part of that.
Thanks. I'm thoroughly enjoying it for sure. A little too much. While we have you, Doc, in here, so in terms of, there have been some issues with this in terms of bug reports, but connecting a USB mic into connecting a USB mic or bringing in the streams either way without a Rodecaster Pro. You should be able to just bring it in via USB. But anything to add there, Doc or Jeff?
I haven't really tested it with USB mics.
Because he doesn't like USB mics.
In theory, yeah. Well, no, it's not that. It's just I don't have a use case for it. In theory, as long as it's a mic that says it'll work with iPhone or iPad, it shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah.
It's not really a Clubhouse thing. That's a system level thing. So as long as it connects in GarageBand or some other apps, you should be perfectly fine in Clubhouse.
Yeah, and that's, I'm just hearing that there are some reports of issues, but not from everybody. So it's just something you want to test and make sure that you're setting up for before you're like, okay, it's time to go into Clubhouse, right? Just give yourself some time to test that. And then, Greg.
Yeah, there's plenty of test rooms where people would just set up a test room or just invite a friend and do a test room. But I'm going to gather, being an old tech support guy, I'm going to gather that's a PepCAC era.
Can you explain that?
Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Okay.
The problems between or the screen and the finger is the new one, right, Doc? I was like the screen and the finger, but I actually tried to PTR and put a picture of the rig that I have, but we're not even able to do that right now because what's interesting, I'll just explain this really quick, is once you're in a room, as long as you're in it and they're having server problems, you can stay in the room, you can have the conversation. It feels like they have growth outside of the servers. And people are trying to join new clubs or new rooms and get into rooms, but they don't have enough bandwidth. But if you leave the room, sometimes it's even hard to get back into it. So don't try to go out and back into your own room. You may not be able to get back to it for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, but everything's stable within the room and it seems to run really well. And realize this is an app setting on top of Agora, which is a whole different platform and their servers, and it's trying to communicate back and forth. But now that we have millions of more followers and people, users, that communication is probably what they're having problems slowing down. So I hope that helps. This is Clubhouse.
I noticed this is actually something that everybody does. They mute themselves a little too early because you always end up with, this is Clubhouse.
Oh, The reason,
Just
what
heads up.
happens is that, okay, so there's people who can't hear that are using this app, and then they're reading the text messages. So what they wanted you to do is say, hello, this is Clubhouse Jeff, and then they can see that in the text stream. And then as you're talking, when you're done, you can say, I'm done. This is Clubhouse Jeff. I'm done talking. And then they know when the next person is talking. So they're reading.
That's a good idea.
It's a teleprompter. And then there's blind people. Silk is on here. She's blind and she's just listening, so she can't see the mic clapping. There's a lot of cool people on this app. It's just so tremendous. Accessibility stuff. Yep.
That's really cool. And by the way, if you are on Clubhouse, follow the people who are up on stage right now. They're all awesome. And also Jeff. Don't forget about Jeff because he's
I'm just
he's
waiting.
in the audience.
I see him. I see him right there with his beard. He's in the top left corner with the beard. He looks great. We got to follow
The crazy
him.
looking guy.
Quote on stage, right?
Yes. Okay. So more questions. Greg said when Barry and Blue were promoting, he would play a pre-recorded audio clip from the RCP pad that only played for Clubhouse audience listening. Do you know how that was done? Do you mean he was live and he was only filtering in the audio into Clubhouse? I mean, because if you look at the RCP, you have a micro SD card slot in the back, and then you can record, right? And you can also play from the Rodecaster Pro files. You can load in files in here, and you could say that was a clip that he wanted to play. You could play that, and Clubhouse is going to hear that. But also the live stream is also going to hear that. But I think I might be misunderstanding what that question was. But hopefully that answers it, Greg. Pedro, so you're connected to Clubhouse on your phone, connecting your hardware mic. Correct. I'm using the good mic that I use. Keely, did you? Oh, I already answered that. Tony says, do you have to ask everyone for permission to record, or can you just add a blanket statement in the room description? You do have to ask every single person for permission to record, just to play it safe.
Yeah, be safe, yes, because it's not 100% clear.
Any knowledge on the Blue Icicle adapter specifically, Pedro? No, but Doc, do you?
What was the name of the adapter?
Blue Icicle adapter.
No, haven't heard of that.
Okay, sorry.
I know that iRig is what most people want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about the Icicle.
Okay, cool. All right. What else, Jeff, do we need to cover?
The other thing is, I would, are you wearing headphones right now? I couldn't even see them. Do you have them? Okay, she has them on too. So, like, I have them plugged into the front of my Rodecaster, so I usually just use that same setup for live, or when I go just on Clubhouse by itself. So I just have the Rodecaster on and my phone plugged into it and have the headphones in. And that's the way I like to do it. So it just makes it super simple. Just the other thing I was going to say with that is I don't know. You can actually record things from, Luria showed that big button on the top. So like if you're doing a podcast and you do want to record it, that's why you put it in the description. And you also mention that at the same time. Yeah, right up there. She could hit that record button right now and record what's going on live and what's going on also in Clubhouse with Doc Rock talking and Renee and Clubhouse Jeff, all those people, and it can be recorded for a podcast later. That's why you have to say it before, you want it in the title and the description, and also when somebody comes up on stage to speak. Yeah. And I also think it'd be a good idea, like Luria talked about resetting the room, is to mention that again, like this is a live show, this is all what's going on, and we are recording this, it's going to be a podcast, it's going to be released on this date, that kind of thing.
Yes. And I see there's 71 people in this room. I don't think they're all Live Streaming Pros viewers. So if you're coming in here only in Clubhouse, then just understand we are on the Live Streaming Pros channels. And Jeff, Sieh, and I, who you can see in the audience right there, and follow him if you like the sound of his voice and the advice that he is giving. What you can't see in Clubhouse is that he has a very long beard. But
glue it on every morning.
Random thought there. But we are talking about the tech of bringing, live streaming and going into Clubhouse at the same time. Also the philosophy of that and the strategy behind it, whether you should or shouldn't do it. So I think what we're going to do is actually is I saw see, this is the problem with Clubhouse. I saw somebody, I'm doing a live stream and then I get distracted. I'm like, ooh, somebody else is in the Clubhouse. I want to bring them up.
Lori, I want to ask another question because there's a comment earlier when we were talking about NDI of using that maybe to, and Doc Rock talked about bringing, you know, or I think it was that was him bringing him that way, the screen from to ECAMM. Can you tell people what NDI is and how it works and that kind of stuff?
I mean, it's a bit of a more complicated thing. So I'm not going to go in depth, but essentially it's a network device interface, and it's a way that you can wirelessly connect, devices. That's the simple concept behind it. There's a lot more
wired
to it.
Or wirelessly. It can be wired.
That's true. That's true. It can be wired as well.
And it's network. So how your network is up to you.
Yeah.
Can you pull me up full screen real quick, Lori? I want to show, because so when I have my show, I have these backgrounds so it doesn't hit my computer. Since I'm using ECAMM, I'm able to bring them up on screen, and it's those are all running on a separate computer, and so I don't have a hit like performance-wise on my kind of older iMac, and so I can do these overlays so it doesn't hurt anything, and I'm pulling that in through NDI from a different computer. So I just wanted to show that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's a perfect example of why you would want to use NDI, and there's a lot that you can do with that, right?
Right,
so
it's really cool.
I see Mozilla asking, can we have a session on NDI? Yes, I do have that in the plans, so look forward to a session here on the channel. And I feel like because I'm on the Clubhouse, typically I don't feel like I always have to say this when I'm streaming to like ECAMM channels and Live Streaming Pros channels. But right now I feel like I have to say it, so I'm just going to say it. But on the Live Streaming Pros YouTube and Facebook channels, we will have a session on NDI coming up. So stay subscribed, stay tuned for that. Okay, so I think we should end the live stream and go into after party mode inside of Clubhouse. What say you, Jeff?
I think that's great. Yeah. So I see my friend Lowell Brown. He says, "Hi, I'm so meta. I'm watching this here and also logged in on Clubhouse."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, too much going on. Yeah.
I hope that this has been helpful for you all. If you have continued ideas, thoughts, questions, be sure to leave a comment below, and we'll continue to answer those. And this is kind of the beginning stage, right? We're all just kind of playing and figuring it out. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How can you use it effectively without destroying like the experience on each platform? So we're always open to discussion, ideas, thoughts.
Right.
Jeff, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, they can find me over at Social Media News Live on Facebook, Twitter, all of the interwebs. We're actually doing a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central, all about all the new changes on Instagram with the always awesome Kim Karst.
I'm sorry, hang on. 10 a.m. Oh, Central. Okay.
Yeah. No, you were on last week. You're
That's right. I was putting that together.
Yeah.
I was like, you took my time slot?
Don't do math. Don't do math on
No,
live.
live math doesn't
that
work
or spelling.
for me.
Yeah.
You guys give Jeff big props and follow him on Clubhouse. But we're going to end this live stream with a bit of a dance out, and then we're going to move on into Clubhouse. We're going to stay inside of Clubhouse, so don't go anywhere if you're on Clubhouse, and we'll bring you up to stage if you want to share your thoughts and opinions. And then can you change your... Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. It's time to dance this baby out. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow for live Q&A. Bye.